Good morning, all. This is Anvesh from Triple Branch. So today I want to explain about the CPU organization. So what is CPU? The abbreviation of CPU is a central processing unit. So the full form of the CPU is central processing unit. It is a brain of the computer. All types of data processing operations and all the important functions of a computer are performed by the CPU. It helps input and output devices to communicate with each other and perform their respective operations. It also stores data which is input, intermediate results, in between processing and instructions. So, what is a CPU? A central processing unit is the most important component of a computer system. A CPU is a hardware that performs data input, output, processing, and storage functions of a computer system. A CPU can be installed into a CPU socket. These sockets are generally located on the motherboard. CPU can perform various data processing operations. CPU can store data instructions, programs, and intermediate results. So this is about the CPU and the history of the CPU. Since 1823, when Baron John Jacob Berzelius discovered silicon, which is still the primary component used in the manufacture of CPU today. The history of the CPU has experienced numerous significant turning points. The first transistors was created by the John Braden, Walter Brattain, and William Shockley in December 1947. In 1958, the first working integrated circuit was built by Robert Noyce and Jackie Kilby. The Intel 4004 was the company's first microprocessor, which is unveiled in 1971. Ted Hoff's assistance was needed for this. When Intel released its 8008 CPU in 1972, Intel 8086 in 1976, and Intel 8088 in June 1979. It contributed to yet another win. The Mortal 68000, a 16 or 32-bit processor, was also released in 1979. The Sun also unveiled the Spark CPU in 1987. AMD unveiled the AM386 CPU series in March 1991. And in January 1999, Intel introduced the Celeron 366 MHz and 400 MHz processor. AMD back in the April 2005, which it is first dual core processor. Intel also introduced the Core 2 dual processor in 2006. Intel released the first Core i5 desktop processor with 4 core in September 2009. And in January 1999, Intel introduced the Celeron 366 MHz and 400 MHz processor. AMD back in April 2005 with its first dual core processor. Intel also introduced the core 2 dual processor in 2006. Intel released the first core i5 desktop processor with 4 core in September 2009. In the January 2010, Intel released the other processor like Core 2 quad processor Q9500, the first Core i3 and i5 mobile processor, first Core i3 and i5 desktop processor. In June 2017, Intel released Core i9 desktop processor, and Intel introduced its first Core i9 mobile processor in April 2018. And there are different types of CPUs, and now the CPU consists of three major units, which are memory storage units and control bus and ALU. So this is the block diagram of the CPU. So where we have middle ALU system, it means arithmetic logic operation, arithmetic logic unit, where it can be perform the logical units, I mean arithmetic problems. And there is a control unit up of the ALU, and there is a memory unit down of the ALU. And when we give the input, it gives the desired output, I mean in the CPU it gonna take, and it will do some ALU operations, and it will be controlled by memory unit, and it will be given desired output to us, and then a memory or storage unit. As its name suggests, the unit can store instructions, data, and intermediate results. The memory unit is responsible for transferring informations to other unit of computer when needed. It also known as internal storage unit or the main memory of the primary storage or random access memory RAM, as all these are storage device. It is size, effect, speed, power, and performance. There are two type of memory in the computer, which are primary memory and